the Southeast News Leader.
Well, since the year 2000, an estimated 850,000 unauthorized immigrants have entered the United States each year. There are currently more than 11 million illegal immigrants in the nation. Right now, lawmakers are debating a bill on immigration reform. In the meantime, thousands of people are taking steps to become naturalized citizens. Our Brandi Cummings shows us In Pursuit of the American Dream.
The reasons people want to live in the United States are as varied as the countries from which they come. For some, it simply means having a better life. One Nigerian-born American says having money in his home country puts you at a greater risk of violence. We were there as he took the oath of allegiance to make his American dream a reality. Under the bright Georgia sun, live oak trees and Spanish moss at the Fort Frederica National Monument. On these grounds, rich in history, an historic day in the lives of many.
It's just always uplifting to see people that choose our country.
The Honorable Lisa Godby Wood, Chief Judge for the U.S. District Court for Georgia's Southern District, presides over the naturalization ceremony. It's the final step in the process of becoming a naturalized United States citizen. Here, new citizens get introduced to the U.S. justice system, learn the importance of citizenship, and get a grand welcome.
Draw nigh and be heard.
Taking this courtroom ceremony outdoors for the first time, 21 men and women from 13 different countries choose to become Americans.
Not only do they inherit a whole host of constitutional rights and civic responsibilities, but they inherit all the national parklands that our country has to offer.
The American heritage, the success of its citizens, and freedom afforded to them is what Chiboise Sonny Anunka seeks.
People who has this, they don't know what it is.
Anunka left his homeland 9 years ago, leaving behind his family and giving up his rank as captain in the Nigerian army. He first moved to New York and opened a limousine business. Then, 3 years after leaving his home in Aba, Nigeria, a return visit made his brother a target to kidnappers.
Yeah, I just went home and visited them. A week I left. They went to him and asked him the money I gave him. They kidnapped him.
Anunka says he had to pay $500,000 to free his brother, an outrageous ransom that forced him to close the business and move south. He gained permanent residency status and works at Jenkins High School as a food nutritionist. 6 months ago, this father started the journey to becoming a U.S. citizen, submitting the N-400 application, completing the background check, and passing the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services interview. The final task? Taking the oath of allegiance.
That you will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America.
I feel like I've never ever felt before.
A day of pride for a country he now calls his own.
I've been longing for this.
Chiboise's mother and sister live in New York. His sister is the only other member of his family who is a naturalized U.S. citizen. Because of the danger to his family back in Nigeria, Chiboise wants to one day have them here with him. In the studio, Brandi Cummings, WTOC News.
Well, we have a full page dedicated to immigration on our WTOC.com page. You have all the information that you need for the process of naturalization. And also, coming up on the news at 6, Brandi will show us how the American Red Cross is preparing immigrants to become citizens.
We'll talk about transitions.
Thanks for watching WTOC TV, the Southeast News Leader. This is the news at 6.
U.S. senators are debating an 844-page immigration bill designed to secure the border, allow tens of thousands of new high and low-skilled workers into the country, and put 11 million people here illegally on a path to citizenship.
But before they decide how to tackle this issue, the question remains, what happens to the millions of people already here? Many say the current process to become a naturalized citizen is daunting. In part 2 of her special report, WTOC's Brandi Cummings sat down with a woman taking a class in pursuit of the American dream.
To put it simply, the process to become a naturalized U.S. citizen requires time. Time to qualify to apply, time to gather the information required to fill out the forms, and time to wait on that application to be approved. It can be difficult, but the Savannah chapter of the American Red Cross is making it a bit easier. And for one woman, it was exactly what she needed. This is a glimpse into what the path to American citizenship looks like for some. 6 classes, 3 hours each.
They learn about civics, they learn history, they learn about our government.
These 40 men and women from all over the world also prepare for the citizenship test. Dr. Becky DeCruz is a college professor who volunteers to teach.
We work with them on what questions may be asked during the interview, what they can be prepared for, how they can strategize if they don't understand a question.
According to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service, becoming a naturalized United States citizen can take an average of 3 months. That's if immigrants meet the other criteria. The basic requirements include being at least 18 years old, being a permanent resident for at least 3 years, also being able to read, write, and speak basic English. The USCIS works closely with groups like the American Red Cross to aid in the process.
We don't tell people to become U.S. citizens. We're just telling them this is how it enhances your lives in the United States. So if you've made a conscious decision to stay and live in the United States and to become a U.S. citizen, we're telling you we're ready for you. We have all the tools and everything ready for you to become so.
This is only the 4th Preparing for Citizenship class offered by the Southeast chapter of the American Red Cross. In fact, this is the only American Red Cross chapter that offers this opportunity for immigrants to make their American dream a reality. Sandra Bolin moved to the U.S. 6 years ago from Jamaica with her husband and children, all of whom are already U.S. citizens. Although she is a permanent legal resident, Bolin says becoming a naturalized citizen means having a better life.
We are a third world country, so we do not have the privilege or access to many things that you do here in the U.S.
Aside from this class, Bolin is taking online college courses in religion. She hopes to one day open a fashion house and study law.
The American dream for me is, being free.
The last class was Saturday. Now Sandra Bowling will submit the N-400. That's the application for naturalization. If that is accepted by the USCIS, she will be contacted to take the citizenship test in Atlanta. That test consists of 10 questions. The respondents have to pass the test by getting 6 of the 10 answers correct. If she does pass the test, she can take her oath of allegiance and become a naturalized U.S. citizen. In the studio, Brandi Cummings, WTOC News.
And we have a full page dedicated to immigration on our website, WTOC.com. Just go to the special reports page. There you will find a link to the United States Customs and Immigration website with details on the process to American citizenship.
And coming up on the news at 11, Brandi has part 3 of her special report. In a rare interview, she sits down with a woman who illegally came to the U.S. as a child.
All right, we're going to take a live look outside from WTOC.
Lots of talk about immigration. Some say it's time to give millions of illegals already here a way to become American citizens.
Of course, others don't agree with that. 28 years ago, a Garden City woman, Eureka Maldonado, crossed into the United States from Mexico illegally. Brandi Cummings explains why she and her family were in pursuit of the American dream.
Immigrants, both legal and illegal, make up about 12% of the U.S. population. For those illegal immigrants who enter the U.S. every year, they take dangerous risks and rarely do they reveal the details of their journey. One woman is watching the developments related to immigration reform very carefully and hopes lawmakers do make provisions for families seeking a better life, just like hers.
We pass the border, we walk a lot. I remember that. We walk a lot. It was raining. We were little, me and my brothers.
Yuridia Maldonado remembers that day. She was only 8, too young to realize the journey she was about to embark on could be very dangerous, even deadly. Maldonado and her 5 brothers traveled by night, led by 2 men who'd been paid by her parents to get them across the Mexican border into the United States. Her brothers ranged in age from 2 to 16. The children rested sporadically, finding food where they could. They hid under trees, behind branches, ducking Border Patrol agents, knowing if they were caught, they may never see their parents again. Maldonado's parents left Mexico for the U.S. a year earlier, leaving their children behind to stay with grandparents. Juridia recalls a time when she and her siblings crossed a major road, running to avoid being hit by speeding traffic.
My older brother was pulling him, and he said, my shoe, and he wanted to go back at her shoe, and there was a car coming. And my brother saw him, and he grabbed him from, I think, his hair or clothes. I don't know what he grabbed. But if he didn't turn back, that my little brother was going back for his shoe, he would have got killed.
The journey that started in Guerrero, Mexico was arduous, long. From there, 32 hours to Tijuana, then hours on foot, eventually crawling under a fence at the U.S. border. But they weren't safe yet. A van waited to deliver them to their parents. After an emotional reunion and a day of rest, the Maldonado family moved to Lodi, California, a place Juridia would call home, even though at the time she didn't understand what it was all for.
The only thing I understood about it is that my parents wanted a better life for us.
Her parents found work in fields, picking berries. Maldonado went to school, even though she didn't understand English.
It was hard. It was frustrating for me. I even cried when I used to go home.
Eventually, she dropped out, got married at 16, started having children, and moved to South Carolina. Maldonado is the last of her family to become naturalized citizens. It took 10 years to get her legal resident application approved. She had to wait another 5 years before applying to become a naturalized citizen, a process she is now learning to master through this class offered by the American Red Cross. Maldonado is aware of the political firestorm going on around the country surrounding immigrants. She says the reason many people risk their lives and give up their homeland seeking the American dream is simple.
They just want to work.
Juridia told me that she does not agree with the argument that immigrants are taking jobs from Americans. In her opinion, immigrants will do things others choose not to do, like working in fields and working for low pay. Despite the dangerous way that she and her family came to this country, Juridia told me she'd do it all again, all to have a better life. In the studio, Brandi Cummings, WTOC News.
And we have a full page dedicated to immigration on our website, WTOC.com. Just look for it on our special reports page.
Like a nice cruise on your fat tire beach bike? This isn't it.